Hey fellas, welcome to this video. I decided to make a video on the latest on Alpine F1, and we'll also look back on the race which completed in Bahrain. So let's actually start off with that race, and as you all know, it was an absolute disaster. Pierre Gasly salvaged a couple of points at the end of the Grand Prix, but the actual or overall view of what had happened in that Grand Prix was just a total disaster. So we came into the season expecting Alpine to build on from the positive of last season. We expected them to sort of be the fourth best team and to try and get a gap over the competition from behind and close up to the front. That's what we expected. Seems simple enough. However, what actually happened was, for me, one of the worst things that you could actually see. I mean, it was we're not getting to the Esteban Ocon side of things, but just the car in general, from how Gasly doesn't make it out of Q3, and whether that was bad luck from his side or whatever the case may be, it's totally unacceptable. I mean, we're reaching a phase where the team's been in F1 for a few years and they just go on to make procedural mistakes, which you can't actually account for stuff like that. I mean, you're trying to build onto your team and then you make rookie errors time and time again. Now, we always know Aston Martin made a huge leap forward, the kind of leap that, we want an Alpine to make. So why can't an Alpine make that type of gains? Is it coming down to ambition? Because the thing is, if you go to the head of Alpine, where Renault in general, where Luca De Meo is, he's given the team a positive and a assurance that you're going to be in F1 for a long period of time. And, that needs to be the motivation to try and, be comfortable in your job and try and progress the team. But that's clearly not happened. And okay, it's only one race, so I don't want to make it sound like the whole world is collapsing, but we need to be realistic about it. So let me share my screen and we can have a look at the actual race results, right? So basically, I'm gonna go right down to Alpine R, and Pierre Gasly in ninth. He picked up a couple of points there. I thought at one point he got the fastest lap. I'm not sure whoever took it away, but yeah, just a couple of points there. And Gasly only got those 2 points because of the safety car at the end of the race. If it wasn't for that, he would have made it. Maybe he'd have got a single point. But when I was watching the race closely, he had about maybe in 3 or 4 laps all the tires at Albon, and he couldn't get past Albon at one point. So, that's what worries me, to be honest. Is the car actually faster than teams like Williams and Alfa Romeo or not? Definitely looks like we're a mile off where Aston Martin have gotten to. And you need to look at Aston Martin, and yes, we know Lawrence Stroll's put a lot of money into the team, but there's budget caps. So how exactly did they manage to get so far ahead and Alpine didn't? Is it coming down to the people that's actually working in the team, or is there something seriously fundamentally wrong? And that's my fear. That is genuinely my fear. Okay, then we go right to the bottom, and Esteban Ocon retired after 41 laps. I don't even want to go into detail of Ocon's race and the absolute nightmare of penalties that he had. I lost count of how many penalties there were. Three, I think it may have been. But I mean, how does that happen? I mean, the experienced driver in an experienced team, that surely can't be happening. And you can put it all down to Ocon, it's driver mistakes, but the team needs to also sort of communicate better, because some of them were just crazy. I mean, speeding in the pit lane and working on the car before you should. It's it's just rookie mistakes, and that cannot be happening at Alpine in Formula One, who've been here for years. So that's that. Then we can look at the next article which I've got, which is basically a report of Alpine, right? So this is a race. Again, I'll put these links in the video description. But basically, just on this article, I actually wanted to focus on Mercedes. So when the race concluded and they interviewed the staff at each of the teams, we heard Toto Wolff say that they've put a lot of effort into the car. It's just not worked out. The entire concept needs to be changed. And they're going to focus on that, or potentially focus on that. So here's my question then. Why is it that they would do something like that, whereas a team like Alpine, who've seemingly regressed, are not willing to do steps like that? Where's that ambition? Where's the drive to try and progress your team? And as a fan of Alpine, that is extremely, extremely frustrating, because you sort of want to get behind the team, and then there is a clear lack of ambition that's happening. Mercedes are still, they're still fairly up on the grid. It's, yes, fourth. I think they may get back to third at one point, but at least they're competing in a respectable position. Okay, it's not going their way, but they've dominated for so many years, so it's okay. But look, when something goes even just a bit wrong, and they put effort in and they can't fix it, they're willing to actually scrap everything and start again. And Alpine just are not doing that. So again, I don't want to make it sound like the world is collapsing, but let's see how it goes in the next 2 to 3 races. But honestly, I didn't expect it to go as bad as it did, and my optimism has waned quite a bit because of that result. Many people will say that it's Bahrain's not a true reflection of the car's pace compared to other races, but guess what? Red Bull were the fastest team last year. They're the fastest team in Bahrain. Doesn't stop them from winning, right? Ferrari are up there. Mercedes are up there. Aston Martin, people said they're going to be quick this year. Guess what? They showed it at Bahrain that they are quick. So why should we believe that Alpine and all the nonsense that we hear about it being track specific? I'm not believing that one, but I think it's total rubbish. And so look, let's give them a chance, but I don't expect anything major to happen. There was good talk at the start of the season about them being able to adjust the suspension and the ride height and have a few tricks up their sleeve. Clearly, it didn't work. Again, how your driver doesn't even make it out of Q3, starts at the back of the grid. That's not good. The race pace, like I mentioned, he ran for that safety car, and Gasly being on the soft tires, wouldn't have really got into that 9th position. Let alone drivers, like Leclerc having issues and having to drop out of the race. So, Gasly was stuck behind Albon, which I mentioned, and he couldn't get past them. At one point, I actually think I saw Lando Norris pulling away from Ocon. I was looking at the timings, and he was actually pulling away. Obviously, Norris had the engine issues with the pressure loss, but I actually think that McLaren looked faster than the Alpine. And yeah, I don't know if there's anyone that will be honest enough to say exactly where the team is. And But as a fan, I'd like to hear that. But again, let's give it a couple races and we can touch base again. Um, I don't expect anything. I'm not happy about um, what we saw in the first Grand Prix, and I haven't come across any news to um, heighten any expectations after that. Sefnauer, I think he mentioned one thing about how they plan to rectify the issues that they had with Ocon, but I honestly don't even care about that. What I care about is why the car is so slow. So, is there anyone in Alpine that can answer that? That's what I'd be interested in. All right, then that's just about it from me. Sorry, it can't be a positive video, but it's just the way I feel about the team and where they are right now and what they've delivered to us. So, cheers, guys. Keep well.